If you've ever found yourself lying awake at night, replaying the same scenario over and over in your mind, it might be a sign that your mind is searching for peace. If you've ever walked away from a conversation and analyzed every single word you said, wondering if you should have said it differently, it might be because your brain is trying to control an environment that once felt uncontrollable. And if it ever feels like your brain has no off switch, like it's constantly scanning for problems, even when everything seems fine, it's your brain's way of keeping you safe, even when you don't need protection. Overthinking is not a sign that you're weak. In fact, it's often a sign that your brain has been working overtime to keep you safe. But now, the real question is, why do we become overthinkers? What are the root causes that shape this pattern of thought? To understand that, we need to look back at where it all began. Overthinking doesn't come out of nowhere. It usually grows out of an environment where uncertainty was constant. Maybe you grew up in a household where moods shifted like storms, and you had to anticipate them just to avoid getting hurt. Maybe you experienced betrayal, where trust was broken, and suddenly you had to scan every detail in your relationships just to feel safe. Or maybe life handed you a situation where you had no control, an illness, a loss, a sudden change, and your brain decided, if I can think through every possible outcome, maybe I can stop the worst from happening again. That's what overthinking really is, a survival strategy, a way of preparing for chaos in a world that once felt unpredictable. But here's the truth. What once kept you alive can slowly start to hold you back. Think about it. Your mind is like a guard dog, always alert, always scanning for danger. When you were younger, or when you were in a difficult situation, that guard dog was necessary. It barked when someone raised their voice. It pulled you back when you sensed rejection coming. It warned you before the storm hit. But now, in calmer times, that same guard dog barks at everything. Every word, every silence, every pause in a text message. And suddenly, you're living in constant hypervigilance, anticipating threats that don't even exist. The problem isn't that your mind is broken. The problem is that your brain hasn't learned the difference between then and now. It's still protecting you from ghosts of the past. Overthinking has a cost. It doesn't just drain your mental energy. It shapes the way you experience the world. It makes small decisions feel enormous. Should you send that message or not? Should you take that opportunity or wait? It steals your peace. You might be sitting on a bench in a beautiful park, listening to the gentle trickle of water, but inside your thoughts are miles away, replaying something from 3 years ago. It affects relationships, because when you overthink, you're not just living in the moment, you're overanalyzing everything. Every word, every glance, every silence feels like evidence you need to interpret. And the worst part? People around you don't see the battle. From the outside, you might look quiet, thoughtful, even calm. But inside, it feels like you're carrying the weight of 10 conversations at once. Here's the truth. Most people don't tell you. You can't just stop overthinking. Telling someone to stop overthinking is like telling someone underwater to just breathe. The goal isn't to think less. The goal is to think differently. Your brain is wired to protect you, but it needs new evidence, new experiences where things don't go wrong. Every time you allow yourself to stay present, to trust that not every silence means rejection, not every choice means disaster, you're teaching your brain that safety exists. Overthinking is not something you erase. It's something you retrain. You start by catching the spiral, pausing, and asking, is this thought protecting me right now? Or is it keeping me stuck in the past? Am I worrying about something that hasn't even happened? What if things actually turn out better than I expect? If you've carried the weight of overthinking for years, let this be a gentle reminder. Your mind is not your enemy. It has always tried to keep you safe, even if the way it did that feels exhausting now. You are not broken. You are someone whose brain adapted to survive, and now you get to teach it something new. Overthinking may be part of your past, but it doesn't have to shape your future. You can learn to live without rehearsing every outcome. You can walk into relationships without scanning for every possible red flag. You can breathe in this moment and trust that you are okay, even without knowing what tomorrow holds. The truth is, peace doesn't come when you've solved every problem in advance. Peace comes when you learn to exist in the unknown and still feel safe. So if you've been overthinking your entire life, hear this. It's not your fault, but it is within your power to change. The brain that once kept you alive can also learn to set you free, and freedom begins with this moment. Right here, right now, when you finally give yourself permission to let go. And I know your mind gets heavy sometimes. That endless loop of thoughts, questions, and what ifs. It's exhausting, and you don't deserve to feel trapped like this. So if you're ready to stop overthinking, click here to watch this video. Your peace matters more than your thoughts.